All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We should be just a moment here until the game unpauses. Obviously, we're on that 3-minute spectator delay, so we're just bringing you back a second early here to give you a quick breakdown of all the action you have missed so far. As unfortunately for us, there was a little bit of excitement at level 1 and level 2. We have On the Winds blowing a flash and nearly getting solo killed by Ryzak in the top lane, and Conductor Dink doing the SBL special, getting into a fight at level 1 against a level 2 bot lane and having to blow his flash. Ryzak is already recalled and TP'd back to lane. Otherwise, obviously, as you can see, no deaths so far.
Yeah, luckily, nothing really came of any of that, although it was a little bit exciting. So once we get back into game, should be starting pretty clean, pretty even game. So didn't miss much.
Yeah, so we'll see if any of these junglers can play around these flashes that are down early. I caught most of the Ryzak versus On the Wind duel, actually. I was really shocked to see that. Not something that normally happens to On the Wind, especially playing kind of one of his comfort champs, Poppy. I don't know Kled as well. Maybe he has a bit more early kill potential than I realized, but
Bled can definitely be a little cheesy early on, but shouldn't be killed by him, that's for sure. You gotta knowing your matchup is pretty important, and Poppy can trade pretty well. With her Q, does a lot of damage.
Yeah, Poppy is way more of a lane bully than people seem to give credit for, as we do have both of these junglers showing up towards the top lane. Ryzak being engaged on first, but Kaiser is just coming up the river now, and it's going to force Thor right out the lane. Meanwhile, UTech lands the big hook onto the caster creep.
Yeah, looks like bottom lane is still getting shoved in with the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, but now Kaiser maybe went a bit deep there. He's getting stunned. Now he's getting slowed. He has to flash into Baron Pit.
Yeah, definitely not a smart decision there. Little miscommunication between top lane and jungle. Ryzak didn't really show up to help. Maybe Kaiser was a little bit too far up. We don't really know. So.
Oh, in the spot lane, we get a hook landing on his S3GG. He is low, but the exhaust has come out. And that's going to be a gank disengaged.
I think that's a decent trade for the Heimerdinger. Depending on his health situation, he does have a health potion. So he's going to be pretty healthy in this lane going forward. If they can get it shoving again, get it in a better spot, could be much better off.
Yeah, they do need to find a way to start mopping up some of this. Yes, they obviously have a big wave coming into him right now, but the Mighty Wolf is already getting a pretty substantial CS lead here, just at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, something about these mages in the bot lane. It becomes they don't have as smooth of auto attacking animations, especially Heimerdinger of all champions. So if you're not killing creeps with abilities, it does get kind of hard to last hit.
Yeah, also just not having as much attack damage either. It's difficult. As an AD carry player, we take that stuff for granted.
It makes you think how some AD carry players still end up missing stuff. Still end up missing a lot of minions.
But otherwise, this game really calmed down after all of the early flashes that have been blown. Unfortunately for us. Doesn't look like this game is going anywhere, which for Ornhub is probably all according to plan. But now we got Thor coming in the side of this mid lane. Evelite has to flash the gank.
Yeah, still level 5. Pretty good timing there. Just turned level 6. So able to get the flash before that level 6 popped. Although now that he's level 6, it might not matter.
Yeah, I would say if you can make it to level 6 without Dyna's cast, then you're probably pretty content with how things are going. As now the casting game gets to actually begin.
Yeah, and it looks like the rest of the map, top lane is not going well in CS, but he is picking up some now. Bot lane is relatively even. Although I think the
Yeah,
Jinx is going to be about a wave ahead.
yeah, no, even worse. I think the Jinx has this. Well, no, it's not quite frozen, but does have the wave pushed on her side.
So I think this is going positively for DTF so far. Like, for a team that's struggling, they have to feel a little bit confident that they haven't, like, lost the game yet. Like,
maybe that shows how much confidence DTF has inspired in us over these last few weeks, is that we're just happy they haven't lost the game by 7 minutes.
And obviously, I'm exaggerating with the whole lost the game thing, but the fact that they aren't behind that much, just a little bit in CS, they still have a lot of room to make plays with their champions once they get roaming, once that Cassidy gets online. So I think there's definitely potential here. They gotta play smart around that Cassidy.
Yeah, there's some potential, but I think I'm a little less optimistic than you are. I see an Ornhub team that's going to be really happy to take this game late, that is in absolutely zero rush, and their Jinx is getting a free laning phase right now, in what I assume should have been a more difficult matchup. You know what's happening though? Ryzak is in a fair bit of danger here. He's gonna lose Scarl. As this is actually now starting to turn into creep advantages in all 3 lanes. These are adding up, but Sensory GG maybe a little far out. Gives folks, gives kill, first blood going over to Kaiser.
Yeah, they have some playmaking champions, so Sensory GG just maybe not thinking that he could get hit with a hook, a little overconfident there. Has to be careful.
Yeah, and we'll see. That's could turn into a dragon. Both of the lanes around Drake are pushed by DTF. They had a chance with everyone here, but I guess they didn't want to opt for it. It is still on the early side. Oh, as DTF misses the king.
Those things are worth so much now. You gotta be mad.
Now we have Thor showing back up in the bot lane. Teleport coming out of somebody, as they've got Conductor Tank pretty far away from his turret. He's taking a lot of damage here. The exhaust come up, but he's still alive. He's going to survive that last now. On the Winter's Wolf is in the danger. Ryzak charging forward, gets this kill, but the Mighty Wolf is maybe in reset territory. East Coast carry is going to stopwatch as the W is going to the trade there.
That was actually a pretty good flash. It still got to be upset that he had to give up his own life and flash to get that kill when he almost had it with that W and some other stuff. But flashes over the Heimerdinger, whatever that ability is called, pretty cleanly actually. It was,
yeah, that was
well
a
done.
sick that was the Mighty Wolf play. But like you said, probably pretty upset that that ends up being a 1-for-1 fight, because there were quite a few close kills in that fight. That's a Mighty Wolf. I mean, it's not far-fetched to imagine he comes out of that fight 3-0.
Yeah, I think still though DTF is pretty happy right now. They gotta be, because they're doing a lot better than they have in the early games previous. Their bot lane is 0-1, but has a lot of assists, and they have a relatively safe champion in that Heimerdinger, to where there's not as much turret pressure. So, and that Cassidy that we keep coming back to with Evolite, we've seen what Evolite can do in the mid to late game, so he could still kind of come on here and really affect this game.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel good. I feel good.
Evolite getting onto the Mighty Wolf is going to be one of the big battles to watch as this game goes on. As Kaiser's going to get chunked out in his own jungle there. On the Wind is getting a actually pretty huge advantage in this top lane. Fortunately for Ryzak, he did get the kill earlier, so that's going to keep things fairly close on gold. They're only about 100 apart.
Yeah, and that Poppy pick is high value into Kled. Is he a 2v2?
Yeah, on the one's gonna be the last one in, but he's with a nice W out of the poppy. They've de-scuttled the Kled. Now they're putting a lot of damage down on the Kaiser. Thor's being chased out while this is going on. Ryzak is gonna flash. He's gonna get the kill there onto the Sejuani. And now on the win, maybe it's a danger. Kaiser's the one flashing out. And on the win, trying to secure a kill, but he does not get it. 2-0 for DTF.
Great job there from both Ryzak and Kaiser, knowing that they are stronger in that 2v2. Poppy, without that Q, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and Kled getting that remount just gives him so much value. Like, you can't fight that guy in an extended fight, and I think they being Ornhub just overestimated their strength a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a tough 2v2 to skirmish, especially because it was kind of late into the skirmish that On the Wind actually entered the fray. I think On the Wind, he was just hitting tabs, seeing his CS advantage, and just feeling uber confidence, and it bites him.
Yeah, the CS advantage is great, but when no one's really completed much of an item yet, it's not really worth a whole lot. When you get the CS advantage and you get that big item first, or you hit a power spike, that's when you're getting like maximum value out of that extra gold that you have, and he's just not getting that yet.
We'll see what these guys do to maybe slow down the game. About 1,200 gold lead for DTF here. But still very early, only a dragon taken, no turrets.
Yeah. Other than some of the kills that have gone down, this has been a little slow moving. I think Ornhub's going to elect to keep it slow moving. As you said, they are strong late, and they are going to have a pretty strong Jinx at some point in this game. And that Jinx is played by Mighty Wolf, and that's puts him pretty far ahead.
Yeah, now both junglers are here in this bot lane. Is the Sejuani ult's going to only hit Utek, but oh, Utek is getting chunked apart. Once again, still alive, he flashed out of that. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sister Beyblade gets the solo kill. And now this bot lane, Mighty Wolf and friends running for their lives as Kaiser was there with a perfectly timed counter gang. But now, meanwhile, in this top lane, Ryzak being forced back as well, as we hit action in all three lanes, but it's only the one kill in the mid lane, with Beyblade getting the solo kill on Evelite.
Yeah, we didn't see any of that solo kill, and he might die here.
Oh, this is bad. He has a flash available. He has his jungler available. Ends up saving the summoner spell and getting out.
Yeah, we didn't see that mid solo kill, but I'm assuming he hit some of his abilities and just kind of slowly chunked out that Kassadin. I am a little disappointed because Evolite has been strong in the past, and Kaiser's strong, and they could get a little bit going here in the mid lane, but they haven't elected to gank that Xerath.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how they're going to get Evelite involved in this game. It really feels like something should be happening sooner than not. There's now a Mighty Wolf, maybe it's a pressure. Here comes Kaiser, a flash out of the Jinx, and he's going to have to sacrifice his support to get out of this one.
Yeah, but the game plan to gank bottom has gone really well. Conductor Dank has really functioned well as a playmaker so far, which is something that I don't think I expected to say coming into this game. I don't know about you, but he's really made a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, he's done his role well as in this top lane. Ryzak is going to be in some danger here. As Wind does take the turn, now he's flashing out. He's got a long way to run, but Thor putting down some damage. I think Ryzak's going to have to run, but this Heimerdinger, Shelly combo, oh, it's a Mighty Wolf, gets caught out as well, and this is going to turn into multiple kills and multiple towers in the bot lane.
Ooh, they really gotta slow it down at this point and relax, because the Mighty Wolf should not have overestimated his own strength there, or underestimated the enemy team.
They should slow it down, not teleport in one versus
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just it's bad macro from Ornhub. They have the Jinx, they have the Xerath, they have the Poppy, they have the Sejuani. I mean, those are like some of the most definitive outscale champs in League of Legends, and they just keep trying to contest every single one of these fights with all resources available. And now it finally bites them in a big way in this bot lane.
Yeah, I'm worried that this team, once they get behind, just isn't. They don't know what to do, and they might start panicking and wasting teleport and such. So, hopefully, they don't keep doing that, because it will be an unfortunate game if they do.
Yeah, now Kaiser wanted to go and steal that dragon, but I think he just jumped into the pit a little too late. Jinx will get the shutdown onto the Graves. There's now a fight kind of happening over the wall here. Dr. Dane going down as well. Those are both kills onto the carries of Ornhub. In addition to securing the Infernal Drake, this might be what they needed.
Yeah, DTF kind of just gave it straight back there for a minute. There's no reason they needed to contest that. They were way out of position as a team, and effectively give up some of their lead here.
Yeah, that was a really ugly fight to contest. As now Wolf and Beyblade putting some good pressure onto the spot lane turret. As the rest of Ornhub is roaming down. Yeah, this should be a turret take here, as On the Wind is going to be spotted up by that ward. He's just offering some zone control right now, as Jinx is going to just finish taking this tower, get excited, and get out.
It looks like we're going to be engaged here, but there's too much disengage, I think.
Yeah, Kaiser does get ahead of his team, though. They're getting some damage out. They're actually getting some good damage out, but Beyblade makes it too much damage to chase. And remember, Ornhub very far from an allied turret here, but they do get disengaged. Big Xerath W.
Yeah, that Graves is hitting a huge point right now where he's just super strong. Every time he hits someone with a Q and an auto attack, you just see him get chunked out so badly.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's still somewhat early, but this has been Kaiser's best game of the season by a mile, really. He's been using this Graves super effectively. So we'll see what he does while he's still kind of in this power spike. It's all things considered, it's only about 1,000 gold advantage for DTF. And
yeah.
Still feels kind of small with the Jinx and the Xerath and company on that other team.
Yeah, they have to do more. TF can't feel good about where they are currently. They're not really in the driver's seat. They're just kind of in the game.
Oh, but they're maybe going to put themselves back into that driver's seat as they get the hook out of Sister Beyblade.
You're not running away from Caston, are you? Are you?
Well, directing camera wants us to think so, because it's Sensory GG getting caught out. And now they are still trying to dive onto Sister Beyblade, but it just turns into passing a kill over to the Jinx, and oh, that is not what DTF could have afforded right there.
No, 1-for-1 across the map, but didn't have to be.
Yeah. Yes. And this kind of plays the point I just had wanted to make. DTF has to find a way to get Evelite more involved on this cast, and they look kind of lost about using this pick, and by this point in the game we should have seen something out of a casted pick. And
yeah, I mean, that looked like it was gonna be it. With the pick there, I didn't think they could really run away from the Kassadin.
Well, a Kassadin with more gold on him at 20 minutes, I think that would have been a pick, but Evelite is honestly behind where a mid laner should be at 20 minutes. He's 142 CS, no kills, no assists.
So East Coast carry might be caught out here, but he does have Heimerdinger's hard to do this to, so we'll see how much damage his big turret does.
Yeah, they got an exhaust out of it. It's a 1 versus 3, and he got an exhaust. You know, I think sometimes you just take the win, and he bought a lot of time and stole a summoner spell there, and he's not going to lose any neutral objectives over it. It could have been worse.
Oh my goodness.
They do chunk out to Mighty Wolf here, but now it's Conductor Dank that's in a bad place. And there we go, to Mighty Wolf with his 4th kill of the game. But this Beyblade might be the one that's going on here. He was shut down by Kaiser. To Mighty Wolf trying to chunk some damage out onto this top laner as he's going to lose Scal. He's flashing out now on the wind, coming in the flank. They got a lot of disengage on GT out there.
Yeah, Conductor Dank is showing his inexperience a little bit here now. Early on in the game, was doing pretty well for what we expected, but now he's overextended himself a few times looking for plays, which is a bit more like what you see out of lower level Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and that was kind of a big win for Ornhup. They only got the 1 kill there, but they got 2 flashes. They got a teleport out of that engagement. They didn't have to spend anything to get all of that. So we'll see what DTF can do to start turning things around. They still have they're treading water with this 1,000 gold lead. But this is a team we haven't seen have really much of a semblance of late game shot calling in quite a few weeks now, so they're gonna have to find something new.
Yeah, this game is going different than what I thought, but I think they got East Coast carry here.
Oh
yeah.
Jesus, yeah. Beyblade maybe wastes the ult there. I don't know if he just got hypey or he really wanted to kill steal that or what, but Ornhup is pushing this up onto the mid lane turret. They're gonna get it. It was already pretty low. And now they have taken the gold lead for the first time this game.
Yeah, that was definitely some disrespect. And again, I think he's just gonna die here.
Yeah, he does not have a flash available. The Sejuani ult comes out, and there we go. Thor secures that kill on the bottom side.
Yeah, this is some
I feel
poor
that
shot
one,
calling.
Yeah, that one didn't entirely look like UTech's fault. It looked more like he was trying to help out his teammates that were kind of in bad position.
That one absolutely wasn't UTech's fault. From the Heimerdinger getting caught into the rest of the team trying to fight without him, I think it's just a string of bad decisions or no decisions, as it's more likely the case.
Yeah, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I did ask somebody on DTF who their shot caller was, and was answered with, "Let me know when you find out." So I don't know what happens on comms for this team. It doesn't look like much. And this is not going to be an easy comp to close out a game with, or to come back in a game with. There's a lot of intricacy to how DTF would need to play this one out.
They're gonna need probably a little bit of luck, a little bit of vision control with the Blitzcrank hook. So not confident in them at this point. They're gonna get on the win though, I believe. Although Ornhub is quickly closing in. He's hard to kill.
Yeah, he does have his flash build, but he's trying to hold on to it. And there we go. He flashes out over the Jinx traps on the window spot just long enough that the Mighty Wolf has gotten here. Gets the kill on the Kaiser, and now he's getting excited. This is not going to be good for DTF. The Mighty Wolf gets 2 kills. Sentry secures 1. Make that a 3rd kill for the Jinx. And before we know it, Jinx up to 8-2-3 here at the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, I gotta say that's probably the biggest turning point in this game so far. The Jinx coming in, picking up kills, Poppy being extremely hard to kill and a little slippery with some of her abilities, made that not so much a catch, but they were getting baited.
Yeah, and that is such a stereotypical on the wins play. He is always so confident when he's being chased down on these tanks. He knows how long he can live, and it ends up being a wonderful bailout by the rest of Ornhup there, and they lose absolutely nothing as Avalite spent all that time just getting the creeps to the bot lane tier 3.
Yeah, I gotta say this game should be a clean closeout from here. That Jinx has now absolutely taken off. 3 items. Will be able to take down turrets super easily. Almost can 3-shot one of these squishies on the other team. So I think we're going to see him group up and start taking things.
And once they siege, I mean, what can DTF do to kill a Baron buffed cannon creep? Do they have to hook it into the turret?
Yeah, that's a start. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be able to hang around under their turrets with Xerath and Jinx just being able to pelt them from so far away. I think they're gonna have to back off into their base here and look for an engage. But it's so hard to engage against a Poppy, a Sejuani. Like it's not easy.
Yeah, East Coast Carry was hoping to find the push surprise down here, Heimerdinger, but missed his kills. Now Thor does miss the Sejuani ult, and he actually is pretty swift in his team, but he's also very squishy into Mighty Wolf. While that is happening, secures a kill with the Jinx ultimate. The turret goes down, and now in this top lane, Evelite almost being solo killed. Ryzak has to flash out, but he's only a few crits away, and there it is. The Mighty Wolf is legendary. The Mighty Wolf is a bad man, getting a double kill here, taking the Guardian Angel. They're gonna take Kaiser's life here for what he did to them in the laning phase, as Jinx gets yet another kill, and this could maybe be the game. As Evelite trying to salvage things, he's gonna die. Quadra kill onto the Mighty Wolf. Game over. Pornhub wins with ease.
Yeah, they did what they did a couple weeks ago. They kept it even for their moment, and once they got a couple of kills on the Mighty Wolf, they just took off from there.
Yeah, the Mighty Wolf really wants to get another kill there, but he's not going to find it. But 13-2-3, still a pretty solid scoreline. I think the Mighty Wolf will say he could play Jinx better than Salvo after that one.
I think he would have said it before that one too, but
well, hopefully.
All right. Who do you want to talk to after that one?
I think it has to be Wolf.
All right. That's I think that's a good call. We haven't talked to him in a little while.
Yeah, we'll see real quick from him. All right, yep, he's gonna be hopping on here just a sec. Yeah, we'll just get him in here real quick and then go from there.
User joined your channel.
All right, and there he is, the Mighty. No, just kidding. That's
30. That's not the Mighty Wolf.
We will also, guys, be cutting the stream for a moment after this interview. Sorry, just had to give Wolf the password twice. But now, there we go. That's not 30. That is the Mighty Wolf. Coming off of a boring game with no pentakills on the Jinx. But a win's a win, I guess.
Hello. What's
up,
guys?
Welcome. Keeping up your ridiculous. We listed off all of the score lines that you have had in Pornhub wins this season and how ridiculous they are compared to the games where your team has lost. And that's you've kept that trend going. Your worst score line in a win is like 9-2.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So that game, was there ever a point where you were worried about this Dinger Blitzcrank bot lane?
I was never worried about their bot lane. I was worried when Graves was going around the map and picking up kills. I was worried that my team was going to get too far behind and we wouldn't be able to scale enough to win the later fights. So, especially when right after they killed, I think they killed Win top, and then they took the Herald. I was like, oh shit, they're just going to start taking all of our towers with the Herald, and we're just going to get too far behind. So that was a bit of a concern.
What do you think was kind of the determining factor in your comeback? I mean, you weren't really that far behind, so I'd hesitate to call it like a much of a comeback. But like, what was like the thing that your team kind of stuck to in order to kind of lead you guys back into the game?
Our bottom lane duo was really strong, and we farmed really well in the early game. So I would say that we likely never had a gold deficit in the bottom lane. And no one else dropped so far behind that it wasn't like implausible to win fights. And once we started picking up, like we traded evenly in a couple fights, and then we picked up a couple free kills here and there, and that really put us back into the game.
Swift, you got anything?
It was clean, man. I have dreams about playing games of Jinx like that.
Yeah, Jinx is really strong right now. I actually recommend that like everyone play her. Her power spike actually, with the okay.
I would love to phrase this as a question. I know another AD carry player in this league who loves Jinx, but he doesn't think about League of Legends. He just, he's got two hands, a mouse, and a keyboard. And he told me Jinx is not good. Why is he wrong?
Jinx might be the best AD carry this match, and it has to do with the new item, the Stormrazor. And it is really good on Jinx specifically, because you get a guaranteed crit after you have a couple seconds out of combat, and it reduces with attack speed, obviously. So I'll set the stage. You're Jinx. You got super long attack range with the Q. You just poke in with rockets. You don't like spam out attacks. You just poke in. You're critting every single hit. They increase the crit chance, or not the crit chance, the crit damage on the rockets. So those do even more damage in the AoE. And then once you get your Hurricane, it's doing even more damage AoE, really long range, poking in with guaranteed crits, as long as you're not spamming super hard. So her damage is insane right now.
All right, well, there you have it. Salvo picked Jinx. It's a Mighty Wolf. Thank you for that masterclass on how to carry a game. And that'll do it for game 1 here. We're not running that far past 8 o'clock. We will be back in just a few minutes, guys. If the stream cuts out for a moment, we might be switching back to 30 as our streamer, so please stick around, F5 that browser, etc. We'll see you in a few minutes for Broke Baddy Boys versus Back in Our Day.